guys, it's Nikki and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today's video, which is going to be a review of the tours that we have done at Walt Disney World so far. Really excited to dive in and compare all of these with you, so let's get started. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. If you have been around, thank you for your continued support, and I'm sure you are going to recognize some of these tours that I have been on. I know for a fact I've done a video on the Wild Africa Trek and behind the scenes, I should say. I cannot remember if I did a video on Keys of the Kingdom. If I did, but I know I did it for the other two. Those links will be in the description down below for you. So if you want to see like an extensive overview of all three, that'll be in the description. In today's video, I'm just gonna compare the three. So I'm not gonna dive into too much detail of each one individually, more so comparing the differences and just the overall experiences that you're gonna get with each three. So when you go to Walt Disney World next, you can decide which tour is gonna be best for your family. So before we dive into the tours individually, something that is consistent across the board is they all open at 60 days at midnight. So that is something that is kind of confusing for people sometimes, which is totally valid. But all enchanting extras, tours, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, anything that you need a reservation for, the haircut place, I can never remember, Harmony Barbershop, I can never remember the name of that. All are going to open up at midnight Eastern time of 60 days. So for example, today is May 6th, and if I wanted to book 60 days from tomorrow, I would log on at midnight Eastern time tonight, or technically tomorrow morning, to book those enchanting extras. So dining opens at 6 a.m. Eastern time, 60 days in advance, and then like Run Disney and other like Moonlight Magic, those have their specific times that they will share with you. It is kind of frustrating because if you ask Disney, they don't ever really tell you like straight up when they're going to be released at what time, but always know the enchanting extras are released at midnight Eastern time, and dining is going to be at 6 a.m. You can start calling in at 7 a.m. and it's all Eastern time. I know time zones are crazy, but just wanted to note that before we dove into the tours, because sometimes booking these tours are the hardest thing. So the most recent tour we went on was Behind the Seeds, and this is at Living with the Lands in Epcot. It is a 1-hour walking tour. It ranges from about $40 to $45 depending on the time of year you go. Just know that all of the tours throughout Disney World, just like everything else, is going to fluctuate during the holiday seasons or the more busy seasons, and so that's why they give you like that wide range of prices. For Behind the Seeds, you get to go behind the scenes of Living with the Land, and you get to see all of the fruits and vegetables and the crops up close. You get to learn about how they do the growing of all of the plants and all of the things. It was really, really fun. It is a 1-hour walking tour, so just make sure you're aware of that. Guests with wheelchairs are able to come. We weren't sure. My dad actually injured himself earlier this year. He's okay, but he had a cane and he was fine with it besides just the walking. But there was a lady who was celebrating her 100th birthday. I'm pretty sure it was her 100th birthday, and she was in a wheelchair, and it's her first time at Disney World. It was amazing. We saw them on the tour. It was so dang cool. And then actually Disney Parks posted about them later that day. Tangent, but it was really fun. So you are able to have wheelchairs on this tour, which is really helpful and just nice to know. So the other tour that we've been on, and we've actually been on this one twice now, and that is Wild Africa Trek. So this tour is at Animal Kingdom, and it is about 3 hours, and you pretty much just get your own private safari and then some time for some snacks. So they do recommend that you are in good stamina and decent shape because it is a little strenuous. So you do have to do a little bit of hiking, and then you do have to walk across this bridge with a harness. There is a weight limit, limit, so just keep that in mind. And they do weigh you before the tour. You're not able to see your weight, no one else is able to see your weight, but I feel like that's something that people should know about before they go on the Wild Africa Trek. This one is going to be a little bit more pricey at $219 per person, and it also varies on the times throughout the day. So they are going to have tours at 8:45, 10:15, 11:45, and 12:30. But these are subject to change throughout the day. So sometimes these will change depending on weather or availability. So just know that going into it. But the Wild Africa Trek is an incredible experience. We obviously loved it because we have done it twice now. We did it on our honeymoon, and then we just did it with some friends this past January because they've never done it. And it was such a great experience. This is one tour I would recommend for anyone to try. It was really cool because the safari, you are in your own safari truck. You can ask all of the questions, and you get all of the photos that your cast members have taken during your own safari. So they do a really nice job of taking pictures and not videos, but pictures of you and your group during the excursion. And so that is really nice as well. You are able to bring cameras and phones with you as well, but just know that anything you bring, it's gonna have to be strapped on you, but they give you straps and everything like that for it. So no worries there, but just know that going into it, good stamina, and you're gonna have to get your weight checked, but you do get some snacks, and it is such a fun time. And then finally, the third tour that we're going to be talking about today is Keys of the Kingdom. And this tour is in Magic Kingdom, and it is 5 hours long. And the price range from about $130 to $150, which if you think about it, for 5 hours, that is such a good deal. And these tours are only mainly in the morning, so at 8, 8:30, 9, and 9:30. But again, those times might change throughout the season. So for Keys of the Kingdom, you pretty much get an inside look of Magic Kingdom, and it is so much fun. We haven't done this one again, but I definitely would do this one again. I'm gonna hold back a comment because we will get into like comparing all of them, but you really just get a behind the scenes look of Walt Disney World, of Walt Disney. You go through and you learn all about Magic Kingdom as a whole, and then you also get to go down in the corridor where, if you don't know, there are actually tunnels underneath Magic Kingdom, and that is how the cast members get place to place. And you get to go down there for a little bit, and you get a full lunch as well. We had Pecos Bill, and so you'll order that before you start your tour. But it is so cool and such an incredible experience. Highly, highly recommend Keys of the Kingdom. So now let's compare these three tours. So let's just say you are booking your Walt Disney World vacation, and you came to me and asked, I want to do one tour out of these three. Which one should I do? First, they're all kind of different. To be straight up honest, they all have a different time frame, they all have a different price point, so it is hard to compare them. However, we're gonna do our best today. So your best bang for your buck is definitely going to be the Keys of the Kingdom tour. You get a lunch, it is 5 hours, pretty much fully walking tour. You get to go backstage, and you get to see things that not an everyday guest will get to see. However, some people have said that this tour kind of takes the magic away for them a little bit, because you get to go backstage and you get to see the parade floats in the garages, and you get to go down in the tours and see the offices and all of like the costuming and things like that. It loses the touch of what Disney is. For us, it didn't. I was concerned, and probably why we waited so long to do this tour was because of that. However, if anything, it just added a little bit more, like, oh my gosh, look at all of these things that these people do every day to help create this magic for everyone coming to Walt Disney World. I will say too, we go to Disney World very often. While it is very much still magical and we still get that magical feeling, it's not like it would be if it was your first time going. So definitely don't be afraid of the Keys of Kingdom tour taking away any of the magic. If you are a history buff, or you love information, or just loving finding out how things work, this tour definitely is the one for you. And especially if you love Walt Disney World and just Disney Walt Disney in general and Roy Disney, again, like just the history behind Disney World and how they came to Florida. And you learn about all the windows on Main Street. Every single window on Main Street means something, and so it is just a wealth of information that is thrown at you by these cast members. How good is like the re-rideability of this tour per se? It's okay, you know, going into it, you know what it's going to be, and you're probably already going to know some of the facts that are shared. However, the cast member is going to be different. Your tour guide is going to have different memories, different stories to tell you that what they've experienced. So while we probably would do a different tour unless we were with someone who hasn't done Keys of the Kingdom before, I definitely would do Keys of the Kingdom again. Will it be our next tour that we do? Probably not. But would we do it again? Absolutely. Best bang for your buck is definitely going to be Keys of the Kingdom, just because of the length that you get it, and it is cheaper than Wild Africa Trek and it's longer. So just keep that in mind. However, which one is the most thrilling? Definitely Wild Africa Trek. That one you are going to get the most adventure out of. The most like, oh my gosh, I cannot experience this anywhere else except in Disney's Animal Kingdom. That is going to be Wild Africa Trek for you. You're not going to be able to get harnessed up and walk across the bridge with alligators below you in a lot of places safely, I should probably say. So Wild Africa Trek definitely is going to be that most adventurous packed, like let's go do this adventure together and see all these animals up close and have different encounters with them while still learning a lot about Disney's Animal Kingdom and the conservation that they do. So throughout the Wild Africa Trek, while you do get to have that private safari, which, oh my gosh, how freaking cool is that? You do get to stop in like the savannah and have closer interactions with the giraffes if they're out on the savannah during that time. However, I would like more time with the elephants. Disney does offer a tour that's Caring for Giants or something similar to that name, and that is an up-close encounter with the elephants, and you just get to learn more about them. That is very low-key. I'm pretty sure it's like $40 or $50 maybe, but they do have those individualized tours for certain animals as well. But the Wild Africa Trek, like I've mentioned, is very adventurous. You never know what you're gonna get with this tour because the safari is going to be different, and again, the cast members make it even more exciting because they have their own interactions and their own stories and their own experiences to share. One of the cast members that was leading us, she actually started at the college program, and I believe she started in PhotoPass, possibly, and she just really loved learning about the conservation that Disney did, and then she went and got her certifications that she needed to get in order to be on like the animal team at Walt Disney World. And so now she gets to talk about animals all day and she gets to take photos of people, so it's like two worlds coming together, which is great. And one of the cast members had a small shop, so that was really fun too. But again, it really is the cast members that make this experience what it is, because you have that close interaction with them, and it is just such a great time being able to experience the safari in a very unique way that not a lot of people get to do. Which tour is best for families? Definitely Behind the Seeds, I would say, because it's only an hour. If they like the Living with the Land ride, that would be like the biggest thing to focus on, because if they're not really into the ride, then they might not be really into the tour. So just keep that in mind, or maybe go on the ride right before you go on your tour, so they learn about it and they know what they're going to be able to see during the tour. But it's important to keep in mind that these tours do have age limits. So Behind the Seeds, you have to be 3 years or older. For Wild Africa Trek, you have to be 8 years or older and at least 48 inches. Again, that is purely for safety, because you're going to be harnessed up walking across that rope bridge. And then you also have to be at least 45 pounds and under 300 pounds because you use a safety harness. And then the Keys of the Kingdom tour, you have to be at least 16 years of age or older and have a valid photo ID. So that's also something that's nice about the Keys of the Kingdom tour. While we've never experienced this, sometimes when you're at Disney, there's children everywhere and they might disrupt your experience a little bit. But just know when you go on these tours, they are going to be focusing about all guest experience, and they want to make sure that every single person has a great time. So that Keys of the Kingdom tour, it is 5 hours long. That is a very long time. So all those kiddos have to be at least 16 or older to participate. Sounds like a great 16-year-old birthday gift for your kid that wants to go and do that. Sounds great to me. Something else to note for all of the tours across the board, you do have to arrive 15 minutes prior to your scheduled tour time. So you are going to start right around the time that you have scheduled, and so they really try and stay on schedule because they have a lot of tours throughout the day, especially the behind the scenes in the Wild Africa Trek. Again, that Keys of the Kingdom tour is mainly going to be in the morning, but they really try hard to make sure that everything stays on schedule. So make sure you don't arrive late and that you are there at least 15 minutes prior to your start of your tour time, so you can check in, maybe use the restroom, make sure you have everything you need for the day. Just know that you got to be there at least 15 minutes beforehand, and also always err on the side of caution. So if you're using Disney transportation, maybe you need to leave a little bit earlier just so you know that you're going to arrive on time. So for our first Wild Africa Trek, we had the earliest time. I think it was like 8 or 8:30. We did it in July, so like that time was just a little earlier in the day, and we ended up taking a minivan over to Animal Kingdom. We just weren't sure about the bus system and if we could trust it or not. This was our first tour in Disney, so we were just kind of nervous because we didn't know what to expect. And so highly recommend, if you feel like you need to take an Uber and you don't need any car seats, definitely do that. If you need some car seats, just call up the minivan and they'll come and grab you. We did take a bus for the Wild Africa Trek this past January, and we just got on the first one, no issues. It was even downpouring and we still made it to the back of the park. So just know that you might have to walk a little bit faster. However, make sure you just get there early and then you don't have to worry about being late or anything like that. Alright you guys, that's gonna be it for today's video and me just chatting about and comparing the 3 tours that we have done so far at Walt Disney World. Let me know in the comments down below if you have done any of these 3 or if you have done a different one. Always on top of the bucket list is the VIP tour. We've never done this. VIP tour can be from like 8 to 12 hours throughout your entire day, and they'll take you to all of the theme parks. You get to go behind stage and go through special entrances. It is pretty dang cool. One of these days we'll be able to take you guys along, so make sure you keep subscribing to the channel so we can go on a VIP tour one day and share it with your friends. But I really hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions about any of the tours, please leave those in the comments down below as well. But I hope you guys have a magical rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Bye!